Where is my Edward? It helps if I actually have my stream chat on. Stream manager. All right, there you go. Okay, so career agents, you're right. They pay garbage. They You don't want to really focus on them. So on your Neocom bar right here, I have a bunch of stuff added, but if you go into here in activities and open the agency, which I think auto opens now, um, if you go into the agency and you go on mission agents, combat missions are going to be your highest paying. Um, for early on, they're pretty mediocre, but um, so depending on what space you're in, you can go. I need level 1 8. That is a bomb. No, that's a bomb. That's it. I mean, yeah, that's not annoying or anything like that. That's about to get muted. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and save this real quick. Jesus, what in the hell is going on? Uh, Streamlabs. We're gonna go ahead and disable that for the moment. Okay. All right. Yeah, those just started showing up like last night, which is frustrating. So back to what I was saying though. So you go into your agency and you open up. So you go agents, mission agents, and security agents for combat. Depending on what space you're in, is going to depend on what enemies you fight. But for right now, you don't need to worry about that. So you go distance. So like for me, I'm gonna say 5 jumps away from me. I want high sec space if I'm a new player because you don't want to go into low sec. You can sort of be a bounty hunter. It's There used to be a system where you could put bounties on other players, and when they died, they got part of that payout. It's not that good. They took that system out because it ended up being used for targeted harassment. Um, so it got real bad there for a minute, where people found a way to exchange real money trading, and so they removed parts of that. So now I have these agents. If you go and you talk to these agents, they're gonna have a mission for you. So like if I go here, so as you do agents for a mission, or as you do missions for an agent, wrong box. Uh, so like right now I'm in the Federal Administration station. So if I come down here, if you go into your character sheet in interactions, corporation, and I go down to Federal Administration, there's this bar across the top. This dictates what level missions I can take. So as you grind missions, you get more reputation with the federal, in this case, the Federal Administration, where they sit there and they go, oh, you are reputable. We want to give you more jobs and more money. And eventually, you get to a point where you can do level 4 missions. The way that missions work is they have a mission, and the payout on this mission is 1.7 million. It's not great. If I do it in under 6 hours, I get an additional 1.8 million. So it's 3.5 million. Still really garbage. What's important are these loyalty points. So if I go into my wallet, these loyalty points, so I have for Federal Administration because they're the primary group that I run missions for. I have 119,000 loyalty points. Each of the corporations has a loyalty point store. So I go to the loyalty point store and I can buy this skill book, this distribution connection book. It'll cost me 15,000 LP and 10 million ISK. This book, if I were to take it to the trade hubs, sells for about 30 million. So it costs me a little bit of LP and a little bit of money. This is one of the easier exchanges. Different groups and different corporations have a different LP ratio depending on what the market is doing. So like if there's a lot of these on the market, your LP to ISK ratio is actually lower. There are a lot of different things that you can buy with just straight LP. So if I come down to here, like this, these implants down here, they cost 375 LP and 375,000 ISK. They sell for about 800,000. It's not great. Now, I have this set to show affordable only. If I go to show all, this list gets a lot bigger. So my bread and butter, for example, is these blueprints. For 60,000 LP and 25,000 or 24 million ISK, and then I need to get these items, Caldari Commodore tags. There's stuff that you can buy on the market. It costs about 100 million to buy all the tags that I need for this. This costs me in ISK about 120 to 130 million ISK, depending on what's on the market. But this blueprint is really good because it doesn't require very many skills. I don't think it requires any skills, actually, thinking about it. Yeah, you need industry skill to level 1. It's an 8-minute train, 18-minute train, something like that. And it costs 242,000 in minerals for the materials for it. And that's for running all 5 of them, for doing 5 of these. 5 of them sell for almost 300 million. So I basically double out my money when I do that. So I have 130 million, which I'm almost back there. I'm at 38 in my corporate wallet, 26 in my normal wallet, and I've got about another 40 right here in goods that I've gotten loot-wise. So that's how missions work. So you find a level 1 mission as a new player. You find a level 1 mission giver in whatever group, and you slowly grind up that reputation with that corporation. And then you eventually get to level 4s. And they have special missions called burner missions. That's what this mission is. I'll probably do this here later. I've got to go get laundry here in like 8 minutes. It's the only reason I'm not doing missions. The other way that you can make money early... Let's get this. So... because I just spent 1.5 billion now on this last night. This is a Nurgle. This is a assault frigate, so it's a T2 Triglavian ship. More specifically, this is a unified Nurgle fit. Where's the actual fit? So the unified Nurgle fit, when you go to buy it, it has all the parts you need for doing all of the burner frigate missions. Yep, it's Hateless's Nurgle fit. So it's 1.3 to 1.5 billion, depending on like what the market is feeling like. So that's why I am currently broke because it's expensive. But I made that 1.3 billion in less than 7 days, so it's not that huge of a deal. And now I have more burners to run rather than just Angel base, Angel, and teams. Because I also have I have a lot of stupid expensive ships. So like I have a Paladin, which is I think this fit is just under 2 billion. Oh no, it's 2.8 billion. When I bought this fit, it was 1.4. So like, so I've got that. I have a Hurricane Fleet issue, which is like 300 million fit. This is a 300 million fit. There's a 80 million. The Garmer is like a 300 million fit. So I've got a lot of stupid stuff. So which is why I have no money currently. I also have spent because I've been going through and revamping my PI. I've torn down and rebuilt my PI stuff like 4 times in the last week and a half as I've been trying to figure out like efficiencies. So I've been really bad about that, and I've just been kind of throwing money at it. My wallet is very small right now, but overall, like I reactivated this account uh, on the 30th. Yeah, so it's been like 12, 13 days. And I've made 6 billion. Oof, 2 billion in BPOs, yeah. So Nick, if you're still watching, the other thing I wanted to show you for making money. Um, just gonna grab this ship because it's cheap and nothing is going to happen with it. So Nick, the other way to make money is down here. You have these different buttons, but one of them is labeled scanner. If you click on that and you open up a probe scanner, I actually already have my probe scanner open over here. I think when you normally open it, when you normally open it, it does this. But you'll see these green icons. These are combat sites that you can go to. And if you go there and you kill them, you have a chance for a rare spawn, which can drop pretty good loot, and a chance for it to escalate to a bigger thing, which can also yield better loot. Um, I know some guys that do exclusively this. They go and they hit all of these combat and they just go system to system to system. And in a night they can pull in 100, 200 million. It's just about how fast they can do it. And they're doing it in really simple ships. Um, it's like if we look at the ship line, I think when I was doing it, I was doing Dark ships, wasn't it? Yeah, I was using like a cormorant with kind of a sniping fit. So I just kind of sat back. Yeah, that's a T3 destroyer. He is my buddy Nick is like he's been trying to get into Eve for years, and he's doesn't like things being locked off by Omega. So for an alpha, you actually have up to battleships for doing stuff. I like for doing that and combat anomalies. I like any of the destroyers. Cormorant is good for it. Caracal if you're doing Caldari. Galenti have the Vexer, Catalyst. I actually like the Algos better than the Catalyst. If you're Minmatar, the Thrasher is really good. Um, I really like the Rupture. I don't think very many other people do. If you're in a Mars space, I actually really like the Omen. So, um, the where is it? Um, the Imperial Navy Slicer is also really good. Corax is actually really good. The Corax is slower than the Cormorant, but it's missiles. Missiles are never bad. Like, having a destroyer is not something to really uh be mad at. Destroyers are some of the most used ships in the game because they're fucking stupid. And I'll shoot you some really hilarious videos of destroyers just fucking shit up here in a little while. That group that I was telling you about, Code, that's what they use. They use destroyers. Specifically, yeah, missiles are great. I think missiles are one of the more entertaining weapons in the game. The downside of missiles, you have to wait for the missile to hit. So, the Catalyst is a destroyer. That's what that group Code uses to gank people. So, I will be right back. I gotta swap laundry around. All right. Okay. So now that I'm back, and I've got time, check this real quick. Oh, so still 30 minutes before those kick off. All right. So those are the combat ways of making money. Did you die? Almost died. So let me show you a trick. What's the range on your missiles, though? 32 kilometers? Okay, so um, with missile ships, generally you want to kite. So if we go, okay, open up, probe scanner. So I take my probe scanner out and I actually keep it down here and I group it up with like a few other things that you'll eventually learn to use. Um, so if I go here, so you have a 32-kilometer range. You could, in theory, if you right click on that and warp within 20, it'll put you 20 kilometers away, which gives you a head start out. So like in this case, we're gonna go, this is a sniping fit ship. It literally just, when I have all of my modules activated, I have like 100+ kilometer range. This ship is overkill, and there are the naming on these hideaways. I think it goes den, hideaway, refuge as like difficulty. Dens are the easiest. So now that I landed in the site, what I will do is I'll lock up the targets. I'll click on my station and I'll align to it. That'll get you already moving towards that station. So as long as I keep them in range, I can basically do that. If I need to manually pilot, I can do that as well, where I can just double click in a direction and my ship will point in that direction. Um, I generally don't, but these are the easiest areas to like practice that in. So, but I always try to align out to something that I can warp to. So like down here, there's a planet. So I will align to that. And since you're already moving, you warp off when you hit, if you activate a warp, you warp when it's, I think it's 80% of your max speed. I'm going to finish killing these guys here real quick and I'll show you. Problem with bigger ships. So this is a battle cruiser. Those are frigates. Battle cruisers, being considerably larger, take a longer time to lock onto those targets. And if they close the gap with me, my guns are not meant for really close action. I have poor tracking. Same reason why, like, battleships in real life were not very good at taking out fast moving destroyers. The guns were just too big, did not track well. But if I'm far enough away, I can track okay. So the site is now cleared. So I'm aimed at this planet here. If I click warp within, or warp, I instantly warp because I already had momentum in that direction. If you do end up losing your ship or something like that and you need some more ISK to get started, let me know and I'll shoot you some. I have I have copious amounts and I make it in very stupid uh, amounts as well. What? Why? Why did they do this? So there's a guy I watch named Hateless who does a money making fleet, and people try to gank them, and this is a guy who tried to gank them. There's he was apparently one dude came in, tried to gank him, and did not even scratch the paint, basically. Yeah, his ship cost 11 million, but the trade-off is this dude's ship is 3 billion fitted up. So, but those are kind of the combat ways to make money. Industry is kind of its own monster. Um, I don't. Oh, perfect. Yeah, then you are set. Um, and that's actually a good thing. It allows you to experiment. So that way, if you decide you end up going, hey, I don't like missiles after all, I want to go with lasers or blasters or something like that. And that's something to keep in mind too. I know racially you start off with like whatever ships that you are in or whatever region you start in your character. But my advice is go down everything, get everything, um, because different ships are good for different things. So like Amar ships are armor based ships, and they use laser turrets. Those ships get bonuses to lasers. So, for example, if we look at the Corax, it gets 5% bonus to kinetic light missiles and rocket damage per level of destroyer. So, like, I have 5 levels of destroyer, so I get 25% bonus to light missile and rocket damage if it's kinetic damage. I also get a 50% bonus to the explosion velocity, and that goes into like the math of how much damage your missile does against a target based on its movement and size. Um, and then it's roll bonus. Roll bonuses don't stack up or anything. It's just the bonus of the ship is 50% to light missile and rocket max velocity, which means they make contact faster. They travel more distance faster. Um, the cruiser for Caldari is the Caragal. It is one of the most common cruisers that I see for missions, and it's great. I love it. The one ship I know that gets used by a lot of alphas is if you go into your ship tree and you look at the Garistas pirate, is the Gila. And that's because this is an expensive fucking ship. I think hulls are 300 million right now, so fit they're like 400 to 500 million. But it gets a 500% bonus to its combat drone damage. It can only put out 2 drones, but each drone does the damage of 5 drones. So it's perfect for like, all right, I warp into a site. I'm going to orbit this object at 20 kilometers. I'm going to throw out 2 drones and go make myself a sandwich and then come back, and everything will be dead because the drones auto target. Um, but to fly this, you need to have both levels in Galenti Cruiser and Caldari Cruiser. That's how they do the pirate factions. Is the pirate faction ships use you get bonuses from each side. So, it also fires missiles, but the missiles are really irrelevant. Um, the Rattlesnake is a battleship size, and you can use all of these as an alpha clone. Because here's the little Omega limiter. Omega says you can't use their Dreadnought, their Titan, or their Carrier. Oh darn. Their Dreadnought, like the Cayman, is how much was the last Cayman killed? Um, pirate capital ships are extremely rare, and when they die, it's a kind of a big deal. Yeah, there hasn't been any losses on a Cayman in a long time. Jesus. Um, but like a Komodo is like 300 billion just for the hull of the ship, not any of the components or anything like that. They're stupid. Um, for warships, like I can fly all of the mining stuff. I actually had capital industrial ships. I had that ranked up to 5 at one point. I used skill extraction and I got rid of it because I don't live in nullsec anymore. You can only use this ship in nullsec. and they changed mining forever, and I don't know if I'm ever really going to go back into it. So I'm just like, eh. Other ways that you can make money though. All right, let's see. Agent Fire Epic Arcs and Counters Improvements. Um, Cosmic Signatures. So if you go into, once again, into the exploration and you look at Cosmic Signatures, it's going to tell you what systems have a Cosmic Signature. Um, Cosmic Signatures are exploration. Sometimes they're exploration sites, sometimes they're not. Exploration ships. I think I have a bit for. I think I have a heron that. Yeah, so here's like a heron. Why is this so much? It might only be this much in this space. Check the pricing on this. Wow. What is so expensive? Oh, that's why. That's why. So if you were to do this shit as dirt cheap as possible, a heron is a million bucks. But this ship, I mean, I've used. I don't think you even need that. Yeah. Um, like if we really want to like add a little bit of making life easy, scanning equipment, scanning equipment. This? Yeah, range. So like if we do that, it's 1.5 million. This exploration ship, you could get yourself out to nullsec space, and you could in theory make a fuck ton of money. The trick is getting back. Um, but you could troll around high sec. I know a few people that like when they're bored of stuff, they grab something like this and they go troll around high sec. They find a few sites. They make a couple 100,000, couple million. My last dive into nullsec though, I came back with about 300 million after about an hour of exploration. I got really lucky and I hit a jackpot. Normally it should be about 100 million for every dive that I do in nullsec. It's not common to come back with more than that for me, but it does happen. I use a bit more of an expensive ship though. Like I think, yeah, I use a modified version of this fit, and so it's like a stupid amount of money. Um, but yeah, explore like lose ships. It's okay to lose ships. They are insurable. Number one, and number two, you make money back fast, and you don't really you don't learn in this game without suffering those losses. I think is the easy way to put it. Um, I've lost way more ships than I care to remember. Some of which some of which the losses have been so bad that I'm like, nope, not doing this anymore. Um, like we can go and look at my kill board. I have killed, or I have been a part of killing 563 billion is worth of stuff. I have lost about 25 bill worth of ships. Um, these were my most recent losses. There's 100 mil there, there's 10 million there. Um, they do a PvP event that I recently did, and I just sucked at it. Yeah, it is a good KD, until you realize that the reason why some of it is why like some of it is so much is, let's see if I can find one of the stupid, where is one of the stupid things. So like here's 300 million where it was just a station tower or a control tower in nullsec, no defenses on it, anything like that. There's 370 million added, tacked onto the kill board just cuz. um let's see, I think I was on a carrier at one, or a carrier kill. Oh yeah. So this was actually a brawl. This was one of those commemoration events where it was a birthday bash. Someone wanted to have a big fight for their birthday, and so they brought like 50 battleships into our space, and we were like, "Fuck yeah, let's do this. Let's go have some fun." They came in expecting to lose. We went out expecting to get lots of kills. So like, I got on like two or three ships that are like this that were 480 million. But there were 100 plus people in that fight. My singular damage in that is so like minuscule. Sometimes I'm like, um, yeah, these ones were all part of a structure bash. There's like 500 mil on that guy. This was one I actually felt really good about. This was killing an engineering facility that cost 12 billion. That was a really fun one for me. But you know, some of my worst losses have been pretty rough. See if I can find like, when was the last time I lost to Gila? Oh yeah, for a while there, I was just throwing myself out into nullsec space. There's a 311 million loss of a battleship. Um, that was me literally like jumping through a gate and there being like 15 guys around the gate, and me being like, oh, well, I'm gonna die. See if I can take one with me. I ended up taking out like one guy, so that wasn't a huge loss. Um, yeah, this is back when I was part of Test, long ago. Um, now that we're in Test, we can actually go and see like my most painful loss. Let's see, there's a bunch of Hecates. This was a really painful loss because I was stupid. Uh, there are certain NPCs that you just kind of ignore, and I chose not to ignore them because I thought I was in a really good ship and I thought I'd be okay. I was not okay. I died. I died very quickly, and that was 2.5 billion down the drain. Where is I was like, this was during a battleship brawl. That was actually a really fun fight. That was another one where it was someone's birthday. Do I just not have it on this kill board? I would have to dig for it. Yeah, I've already passed it. Um, but I lost a dreadnought once to a bunch of titans dropping on top of me. Um, oh, it's right here. Oh wow, he actually left. Oh no, he's part of after. This was a structure bash. Yeah, just loot the stuff. Um, what you'll end up finding is that most of it's not worth much, but it's all worth something. Um, the main trade hub in the game is Jita. So if you pull this down, you go to personnel and people and places. Like I said, I actually keep that down, grouped up down here, and you type in Jita, Jita, and you open up stations. Jita 4, Jita 4, Moonfort, Caldari Navy Assembly Plant is the main trade hub of the game. It literally everything can be bought and sold in Jita. Um, when you right click sell stuff, like go if I do this, there's no market module in this station, so I can't really do it here. Um, when you sell, you're selling to people's buyers. So it's actually just like the stock market if you think about it, in that if I'm in a station and I go, um, I want to buy a Drake Navy issue. If you actually open up your market, uh, regional market tool, and you look at it, these down here are people's buy orders. There are people that actually have buy orders for this ship, and they say, we'll buy it for $80 million. What they're hoping for is that someone will come to this station out in the middle of nowhere looking to sell a Drake Navy issue, and then they'll sell it not thinking about it. They'll just do an immediate sell. They'll want to get it off their books right away. So they'll sell to the market price or to the buy on the. Yeah, and you can go to Jita and you can set up buy orders. I actually did that for a while on things. Um, and then you can put stuff. These people, they have the ship and they're going, I want to sell it for X amount. Jita, Jita 4, Moon 4, Caldari Navy Assembly Plant is where you do all of your market trading for that stuff. There is a system next door called Perimeter that has the Tranquility Trading Towers, but from what I understand, a big change up just happened in how taxes are done. I haven't looked into it, so I don't know what's going on with that. But there are some crazy things. Like, actually, do I have any implants in my head? So I actually have my home system is set for Jita for one simple reason. Um, I live 16 jumps away from Jita. Check my head to make sure I don't have anything. When I need to get back to Jita fast, I check to make sure I don't have any implants in my head. I don't. And I just kill myself. There is no penalty. They got rid of that. That used to be a function of the game is you would actually could potentially lose skill points if you didn't have an upgraded clone. They got rid of that. But now I'm in Jita. Jita 4-4 can't be your home station, but Jita 4's other station can be. Oh yeah, this. But here's the thing: like, take a look at my overview right now. Like, see that? That's all the people, and they're all crowded around the Caldari Navy assembly plant. This is the business tribunal, or the business tribunal. You can make your home station here if you want. But the Navy plant is. The Navy plant is the main trade hub of the game, and we're on the back side of it. The front side has a bunch of people just kind of hanging out, either waiting to gank, docking, leaving. Yeah, exactly. It's fast travel by suicide. I don't have any implants in my head. If I had implants in my head, I wouldn't do that because implants are expensive. They also recently upgraded. Like, look at this. Look at how pretty this is. They recently upgraded like all the interiors of this, and I love it. I geek out about it. Um, but now that I'm here, I can literally find anything on the market here, and there will be a price set for it. I actually was doing it for a while with Triglavian survey databases. This is stuff you get out of doing abyssal content. And I might eventually hop back into abyssal content, but it's, I've suffered a lot of losses in it, so I don't really feel like going back to it. So normally, when you get this stuff, you take it to a specific station, and NPCs will buy it, and they will buy it. You can actually see it here. These are all NPC buy orders, and they'll buy it for 100,000 ISK each. But here in Jita, you look at orders in the actual station. There are people going, well, we'll buy it for 97.9. And what they'll do, like this guy's got 26,716 buy orders of that. So that's, God, how much is that? So this guy has put 2 billion ISK, 2.6 billion ISK in the market, just being held up by this buy order. But people have been feeding him. So if he gets even, I think the broker fee, if you get your broker fees down, I think it's like 2%, 3%. Um, he only needs to get so many people biting that are like, yeah, I don't want to deal with, yeah, exactly. Um, he doesn't want people, uh, he's like, hey, you don't want to have to travel, like, because if you see, look at this, these stations where you can sell at that 100,000, they're 12 to 13 jumps away. That's that's a long way to go and sell stuff. You could get ganked in that 12 to 13 jumps. So he goes, I'll buy it here, but I'm going to take a cut. And then when he's got enough, he goes and he takes the 12 to 13 jumps and makes huge profits. Uh, it's wild. It's actually insane. They actually changed the markets recently too. And recently is a very relative term. Like, I think it was like 8 months ago. You used to be able to redo a market order by a single penny and change your market order. So you'd have like this guy would be like 9798.01, 9798.02, and you'd have this like continual bidding war. And they made it so no, you have to increase it by so much solid ISK. So that kind of killed off a lot of market bots, which needed to happen, but it's one of those like annoying things. But there's stuff that they have on the market like Aurum tokens. Aurum tokens used to be used for um, for skins and stuff like that. These aren't used anymore, but they still exist in the game. Like now they're kind of like just a cool thing to have. You could be like, hey, look, I have this thing. Um, I don't know if I have any in my inventory here. I might. Um, there are some people in the contracts. Um, Now that the war is over, I don't think there's going to be very many left. Am I an idiot? Finance. So if you look in contracts, is the other thing you can look for. There's a whole secondary market of people just putting contracts out there and doing this. Like, oh, I want to sell. I want to sell these. Be very careful if you do start dealing with contracts because sometimes these are scams. Actually, most of the time they're scams. Just always read over your contracts very, very carefully. I go here. Actually, let's see if we can see. So in local, people will spam out the contracts to try to get people to buy them. Right now, it's people. So like this guy is spamming out going, oh, special surprise. And when you look at it, first glance, man, this looks like a lot of good stuff. There's a lot of these green symbols which indicate storyline or faction stuff. So you're like, oh man, this is really cool. He started this at 1 million ISK as an auction. It's up to 150 million, or you could buy it out for 2 billion. But to be honest, like I'm looking at this, there's a lot of stuff here that is just meh. Some of this stuff is worth. Um, High grade ascendancy blueprints can be worth if you know what you're doing. Um, the people will try to sell integrated drone blueprints as if they were oh, what is the term for it? Augmented. Um, oh, I know what it's. Yeah, let's close that. That was my stockbroker stuff. complaining that it had lost internet connection because they do their server reset at 1 a.m. Um, yeah, like I have no idea what these guys are screaming about here. It's all the moon runes. Let's see what this guy is actually saying. I tend to actually try to. Okay, it's a recruitment thing. Join this corporation. We'll give you this. We'll give you that. Okay. Uh, the hypernet. Yeah. So my recommendation is you find a player station that has the capabilities. Now to find that, once again we're gonna go up to here, and we're gonna go. um, where are you? I can never remember exactly where this one is. So you have to go to Utilities, and you go to Structure Browser, and you want to go. I'm looking for an engineering complex because that's going to be where you can build stuff. My recommendation is to go to Perimeters Tranquility Production Center. So if I look here, so um, I am biased. I was part of the group that actually owns this, but they have rigs and stuff set up into it. So what that means is that the structure itself actually gives a bonus to production. I'll actually show you here how this can work because I actually have to go and you can build in certain NPC stations, and that structure browser will actually be able to help you with that. NPC structures, though, have a very high tax rate when you build in them. They have a higher fee, so to speak. There's so many people outside right now. Jesus. Close this up. Make it smaller, should say. The other thing that I'm gonna tell you to watch out for because I have lost way more money is the hypernet. Ignore the hypernet relay. Um, it's a lottery. So you go, oh man, I could own a Hurricane Fleet Edition. It costs 205 million. Tickets are only 35.9 million, and there's only 8 tickets. But what most people neglect to notice is that half the tickets are usually always bought by the dude running it. So they usually have received it via a buy order or they want it cheap and now they're just recycling it. Uh, so, oh, excuse me. All right. So this structure gives a bonus. It's one of the, I think it's one of the most advanced structures in high security space. as far as those bonuses for as cheap of the rate as they have. So building stuff is really easy. I have a blueprint here for a caravan. Oh, it's the perimeter trank. If you in the people places, if you type in tranquility production, I want to make sure it actually pulls this up. Yeah. So if you type in tranquility production, it'll pull up um, that, and you want tranquility production center. The tier 2 one is actually a not a fake, but it's an out of commission. It even says it out of commission um, structure. Okay. So like um so this blueprint I have is researched 10% material efficiency, 20% time efficiency. So it uses 10% less resources and it builds 20% faster. That's from the blueprint. The structure itself also has a 1% material reduction and a 2% material reduction installed. For the most part, building in high security space is your margins are really thin, I think is the way to put it, because structures are not allowed to have the really good bonuses unless you're living out in non-empire space or in nullsec player-owned space. Um, yeah, pull up that map here. So this is the current power dynamic of Eve. Um, so you'll notice none of this central space is colored. That is all Empire space. One of the four NPC empires controls this space in here. This space out here is pirate controlled space. Actually, some of this area up here in the top is pirate controlled space as well. And this down here is pirate controlled space. Otherwise, nullsec, which is null security, is owned by players. This is actually what I think is one of the coolest parts of the game, is the politics of these different powers. So I used to live down here in Esoterica. The Army of Mangoes didn't live down here at the time. Test Alliance, please ignore, did. Test actually used to control all of this region, but they and pretty much everyone else in this, from like here all around, is basically half of nullsec space, went to war against Goonswarm, and they actually pushed in to Goonswarm's territory to pretty much their last system, and it is the fortress system of 1DDQ, and they could not crack it. Literally, the game's 2/3 of all players living in nullsec bashing against this one group because Goonswarm and the Initiative are allied with each other, um, but they couldn't break them. So the war ended. This large coalition was known as Pappy, and they have disbanded. Test is now like couch surfing, and it makes me so like irritated. They literally are living in like this tiny ass amount of space over here. And I'm like, you guys, we controlled like 3 regions of space. What the fuck happened? Um, that's that's my complaints about, that. But seeing and like knowing how all these things interact, um, fraternity and test are not friends, but during that entire war, they were friends. So when I first joined test was the first winter war. We beat fraternity after about 6 months of peace in that first after the first war. I want to say it was 6 months. Another war started up, and that was the second Winter War. And because Fraternity used to live down here. Well, we beat them so bad, they ended up coming over here. They lived over here for a while, and now they live up here. I am guessing that eventually Test and Fraternity will have another war. And the third Winter War is going to be hilarious. I will probably like rejoin some nullsec group to third party on those fights. We Form Volta is actually known for third partying. That's actually all of these groups are known as the Free States. They have no allegiance to any of the big alliances, and I love it. Yeah, it's little coalitions. So, um, Test controls the Legacy Coalition, which is all of this group down here, all this. Um, the Imperium is where Goon Swarms is what Goon Swarm runs. The neutral states are down here. Wrecking Crew is actually like making some pushes, I guess, because now they're actually like doing stuff. It's interesting. Um, there's the neutral states here, the hostile states, which is kind of funny, and then Winter Coalition. I am hoping that what ends up happening is like Legacy goes to war with Winter Coalition, Imperium rebuilds, neutral states fight Imperium. Like, I just want some like non-matter wars to happen so I can third party and have a good time. But that might be going on right here because Dread Bomb is doing their thing. Dread Bomb, Dracaris, Goon Swarm. That's all space that like um, I used to enjoy. But yeah, so if you have the materials in, you just need them in your hangar, and you can buy them in Jita and bring them over here. Oh, cool! Yeah, there's 50 million. I forgot about this. I have like 50 million of goods right here that I need to sell. Really, I have 150 million, but this is all of like my building materials for when I want to build stuff. These ships are all really cool, and I want to build more of them. They're just expensive to build right now, like too expensive to build. But like this catalyst, so it's going to cost me 839,000 in materials. If I look at the market details, there are buy orders for about 900,000. So really like a 50,000 ISK margin. But these move fast. Um, Now those are buy orders. If I wanted to put in a sell order, I could put in a sell order. I think the lowest sell order is 898, but that's 4 jumps away. So in system it's 989. So that's about 100,000 ISK profit. And then over in Jita, I think is 1.2 million in Jita. So there's only like 78, 85. Yeah, there's only 90 that are um, in perimeter. The rest are all in Jita at 1.2 million and lower, I think. Yeah. So like, there's a possibility of 300,000 to 400,000 is profit per catalyst I build. I actually should just build some to throw away. I think that's actually what I'm gonna do real quick. This blueprint's got 2 runs in it. So there's a job cost associated with yeah, Lashak's just right now are I've had those blueprints for about 7 months. 7 months ago they were a lot better before the industry change. Um, but yeah, Lashak's like you build them because you want to have them and you live in space where it's hard to import them. Is essentially where I'm at with that right now. Like I think in nullsec you could get away. Actually, we can find this out. Oh, oof. Um, all right, let's see what Fuzzworks has to say. All right, let's say it's there. Let's say we live in nullsec. Let's say T2 rigs. I don't know what the standard is in there. We got none of that. Yeah, like I said, I'm kind of burnt out on abyssals right now. So material with the installation price, you're looking at a 40 million profit per hour. Because it take I don't remember. This actually tells me like the time that it takes. Yeah, it's an hour and 20 minutes to build. So 40 million per, it is not 40.4, but that's a nullsec with max rigs, like a 5% tax rate. It's, yeah, it's not worth the time unless you live in that space. Um, like if we were to live in like high sec, as we see that changes out quite a bit. Um, I don't think you can have, yeah, profit on that is, like you said, it's really really bad. Um, it's bad enough that like that the taxes for selling stuff will eat into you. Um, that being said, a 10% facility tax is pretty standard um, when you're building all a shack. It's there you go, and you can. So this is actually something really good to know. So you can go into any station. So what you should do is come to this facility, drop the blueprint off in the facility, and then go to JITA 44. When you're in JITA 44, you can actually open up the industry, and you can click on it's second pull down here, and it'll show you where you have blueprints. I have blueprints all over the place. Um, but with that, you can then, oh wow, oh god, are these really here? That's frustrating. Um, I'll deal with that later, I guess. Um, but you can actually go here. If you look at this, once you get to JITA, if you right click and go buy missing materials, if you're in uh, JITA 4, the main trade hub, you can actually buy all the materials that you need for that. And it'll open up a multi buy. You'll need to move it over to this facility, but then you can build it. How much is. I did not realize that I had. Okay. That's not as bad as I thought it was. I thought that was going to be way, way worse for me. Yeah, I thought these were my more expensive ones. I have somewhere in asset safe. So when I moved from nullsec, I just asset safety to everything, and I took a break from Eve for a long while. So now I'm like, oh, cool. All of them are in Masaba, which is a pirate like haven. So I need to like get out of there. Actually, he's going for 304. Cost 260. Are these actually going? These actually going for that much? Buy orders at 169. Yeah. Nope. Courser blueprints. A lot of these were just stuff that I picked up when I was living out in most. Oh my god! Depleted uranium blueprints. Ammo. My advice for if you Nick, if you want to start getting into like starting ammo production is not a bad thing. As an alpha clone, I think you're limited to like one manufacturing slot at a time, but that still is passive income because you literally set it to build and then you go off and you do other stuff. Oh man, so much stuff here I got. Okay, there's so getting into Misaba is not a problem. Getting out of Misaba, on the other hand, very much is a problem. That's not too bad. Those guys sit, 5 ships around the exit of a station, out of the exit of the station, and just kill everything that comes out of it. That's not part of them. It's a group called Domain Mining and Research, and they're actually really nice guys when you talk to them, but they'll kill you. Yeah, it's every time I pop in there, there's one dude who actually like instantly PMs me going, "What came out of asset safety that you want to sell me so you don't have to move it?" Because when I first left Nullsec, I sold him like 2 carriers, a dreadnought, um, a couple of assault cruisers. It was easier. It was easier just selling to him at 80% of the market value than trying to move it out of the system. Um, and it's super cool, dude, because he was like, "Hey, do you want me to call off the guys so you can leave?" And I was like, "Oh no, I don't have anything else. Just go ahead and kill me and send me home." Okay, what else do I have? I apparently have a nitrogen fuel block blueprint. Why do I have this in two? Is this worth anything? 11 million. Okay. Why do I have this? I'm not sure on it. I have a instant dock set up on top of the station, but it's a station that when you come out of it, it spits you. It's an Amar station, so it points you down. Um, and they have insta locking stilettos and stuff like that. Why do I have this? What was I doing? All right, this is like 20 million. Well, actually, it's like 18 million if I'm going on the split price. But why I have that, I have no idea. Small ancillary armor repair. Damn it, Vic. Nothing there. Nothing there. I apparently have some stuff sitting in Jita that's old BPCs. I do a lot of industry stuff, so yeah, this is my shame. When I was living in Nullsec, this is largely what I was doing for my corp. Is I was building capital class ships. So like I've got Apostle BPCs, I've got Archon BPCs, I've got the component BPCs, and I'm still trying to sell these because I have no use for them anymore. I'm probably gonna do a giveaway on Sunday where I just give away packs of blueprints. But then again, like most of the people that watch me don't live in null sex, so like this is useless to give to people. How much does Amoros estimated build cost is 10 billion, which means in nullsec it's actually like a lot lower, but still, like Jesus Christ. Yeah, like carrier blueprints, Rorqual blueprints, freighter. I might actually build a freighter if it's not actually. I don't know if that was capital material. Yeah, All right, let's take a look. Okay, so actual market, um, using Eve Praisal to ping Jita and look at it, actual market, the buy value on stuff to build the freighter is 2.9 billion. Market value, what are the buy orders on these going for? Buy orders on these are 2.7, but sell orders are 3.6. So you could actually put one of these on the market for 3.3. So it costs 100. All right, so it costs 118 in tax and fees from the station. So 118 plus it's those capital core temperature regulators. They're really expensive for some reason. Actually, I'm really curious now. Capital core. So if I look at this, how much does it cost to make these? So these cost 3.6 billion and they sell for 4. Do they sell for 4? Got buy orders for 10 million here. Oh, so those are just bad buy orders. So buy orders at 650 million. Sell orders at 3.9 and 3.7. You could sell for Jesus. I, gears are turning in my head on how to like play the market with this. Now sell order on these mats is about 4 billion though. Oh, because that's what I think. So these you have to make doing planetary interactions. I could actually make these here in like the next, I think 3 days is how much more training time I need on my PI. What? I think same with these actually. So like that's um core temperature regulators. Let's take a look at these guys because these I know are actually needed for battleships, and I actually do want to get this BPO. That's not bad at all. So it costs 13.8 million to make one of those. Some market rate on that. About 14. Let's actually like take a look at this. That's not bad. Does it say what you're missing there, Nick? So like if you're sitting in the production, you're sitting in here, right? Actually, I'll be right back. I gotta go grab laundry. Nick, go ahead and mail me in game. Uh, so this is my character's name up here. Uh, I'll be right back. Okay. All right. All right. So Nick, you're still here. Should be right. Yeah. All right. So let me open this up real quick. Blueprints. Okay, so Nick, what you want your screen to look like is this needs to be blue. If it's grayed out, it means you need to research industry one, which think, um, I think the training or the tutorial has you train it, but I can't ever remember. Um, okay. You need to have this material all needs to be blue. So like, set that to one. So like, blue bars across. Oh, actually, that's blocked by portrait. Um, because you gotta make sure you have the right materials. Oh yeah, if it's in your ship, you need to move it into the hangar. All of your material and the blueprints themselves have to be in the hang item. They can't be in your actual ship. How's phase plasma looking on the market right now? Ammo, by the way, is a great moneymaker. Like everyone needs ammo. Um, Probably one of my favorite things to just like set on a 30-day build and just don't touch it for a month. Like I set it for that's what costs 103 million in materials, sells for 183 million estimate. What's that? 100. So 900,000 rounds. Got a dude buying 173.7. Oh, right here, 175. So what's 150 million? So I could sell for 150 million, costs 115 after station fees. Actually, it's probably less. Mat cost. Oh, no, that's actually about right. Usually these numbers are a little bit higher on both ends, so that's a 40 million profit it for 28 days, 28 and a half days. So it's about $1 million a day just passively that you can make with ammo. Okay, so on your industry, click on jobs. Do you have another job running? So you'll notice right here you have control range and then you have manufacturing jobs. You'll have a limit because you are a um not only are you an alpha clone, but I don't think that actually matters for this, but you don't have mass production and advanced mass production. Um those give you more jobs that you can do. Yeah, so just click that job is done and it'll be you might have to be in the system that that job is in to complete it, which is frustrating and annoying. But yeah, industry is really weird in that sense. Like I came back and I had like this phase plasma that had been running for like 20 days, and I stopped playing for a while. Um, I really should just build these ships so I can throw them away. I think that's what I'm gonna do. How much? How much is this gonna cost me? 23 million. All right. Looks like I'm gonna do some industry stuff myself too. I was not planning on this actually, but it's kind of funny how that pans out. Um, let's. The PI stuff is actually all cooking right now. I need to check the BPO price on those. Yeah, it's one of those. Six jumps isn't bad. My home Jita, which is where I do all of my selling, and my actual home station are 16 jumps apart. So I feel the pain. um, the worst was actually when I had first moved to Nullsec. I lived in the northern part of Providence, which is like 18 jumps to a Mars space, but like three or four of the jumps were through Lowsec. So that was it is through Nullsec and Lowsec. So it was just always risky to go run supplies, and I was the main person running logistics for our corp at the time because we were just moving into Nullsec space and the frustrations that was that corporation. Like I'm glad I was part of that group, but at the same time, like holy shit, I hated that group. Well, not that group, but that alliance, I should say. Like that corporation still exists. Or no, it is this alliance. Yeah, these guys. Fuck these guys. Um, God, it's specifically these guys. Um, I think the guy that was running it at the time is no longer there, but yeah, man, what a fucking shit show. Um, so story time. So when I first moved into Nullsec, I had originally been living in HighSec as mining. When I first played Eve, I was a mining director for a group of actual, like, real life friends that I know that I play Warhammer with. And over time, they stopped playing and, like, all that. You know, real life gets in the way. So then I stopped playing myself. After about a year or two, I came back and how much space do I have in this thing? 35,000. So I came back and I took my Orca and I basically went and kind of did my own thing for a while, solo mined in HiSec, and I ended up running into another industrial group, and they invited me in. It was a small group, 8, 9 guys. We did our thing for a while, and eventually they met uh, an alliance that was looking for industrialists. I was building lots of shit at the time, so they brought us in, and then they went, "Oh, hey, we're gonna move to Nullsec. We found a group in Providence that'll bring us in. We can couch surf till they give us our own system, yada yada." So I was like, "Cool. I'll start training on a Rorqual and a Jump Rigger." Started doing that. Um, Leadership in the alliance full changed. Like there was 3 guys running the alliance, and every one of them left. They basically went, "Hey, we've got a bunch of stuff going on in real life. We're peacing out." I was like, "Okay, cool, whatever." New leadership comes in, and they're okay. They're not. They're not rude or anything like that. But one of the guys starts hanging out in our corp Discord a bunch, and we actually like imported a bunch of new members, and they were asking a bunch of, you know, pertinent questions about mining, which, having done mining director work and corp buybacks and stuff like that, I went, okay, if you're just starting out with these skills, you want to fit your coveters like this, procurers like this, da da da. You could go to Hulk if you really want to, but the risk to payout is generally not worth it. You actually are better off. Some guy actually did a big research project where he actually like figured out a coveter will make back its cost faster than a procurer will before either gets ganked and lost. Um, so I did a lot of work in Python with that, figuring out all the yields with all the different boosts that you could have with an Orca versus Oracle. And so I would lay out my more or less a thesis on, hey, this is the most efficient way to do it with what you've got going on. And this motherfucker would sit there in our corp Discord and he'd be like, you guys need to stop focusing so much on mining and industrialist work. And we're like, dude, like that's not only why you brought us in here, that's like a core tenet of the alliance is we are groups of industrialists. And I more or less just ignored him. And then I started talking about after I got skilled into Oracle, I was like, okay, here are the changes now. Instead of giving boosts from an Orca, I can give boosts from a Oracle, which gives higher yield, which means here's your time for your return on investment onto your ships. Da-da. And once again, he's like, you guys, you need to sell that Oracle. There's no point in having it. Da da da. Yeah, more or less. Well, especially since as I was talking to, because we were one of two corporations from the alliance moved into nullsec. There were four that were still living in high sec at the time, and we were making like three times the amount of money because we were able to mine ore that was better yield, gave better materials, and we had a lower tax rate on refinement and building things. Because the group that we were actually like couch surfing with were super cool dudes. They actually like when we moved in, we were told, "Hey, you guys aren't allowed to mine moons. You guys have to mine during this kind of time frame." And I was like, "Okay, cool." Well, then the guys that we were with were like, "Hey, do you want to come and mine this moon? We don't have enough people, and the rocks are gonna despawn anyway. Come and get some. You'll make like five times what you're making." I'm like, "Fuck yeah, let's do this." And I was talking with our corp CEO about that, and the guy from the alliance once again just like in our Discord is like, "You need to not be doing that. You're gonna, torpedo all of our diplomatic stuff." I'm like, I just explained how this guy is the one that said it was okay. He's literally the diplo of their group. Shut up. Eventually I get a jump freighter and I start moving the other corpse into that space. And he actually like demands I get in voice. And he starts trying to freak out on me. And, he's like, "Hey, I need to talk to you in voice." I'm like, "Okay, give me a quick sec." I hop in voice. Instantly it'd say, "What the fuck are you doing buying a jump freighter?" And I was like, "Okay, I'm out." And like instantly like left. Sent a message to my CEO and was like, "Listen, this dude needs like deal with it. He's talking to line members like he is the CEO. He is not the boss of us. That was not what we were brought in for. He can fuck off. And if he doesn't like it, this group that we're with, I have enough of a rapport. I'll just join them." So, like, do you really want to lose a guy who has made us more money in a month than the entire alliance has made in 6? Really? Do you really want to play this fucking game? One of the first things I did when I moved to nullsec is I made like a fleet of mining ships for everyone in the alliance because like I was just making that much money. Well, we had two CEOs at the time, one of which is the one who I sent that message to, who is fairly calm guy, real down to earth, like him a lot. The other guy, not so much. The other guy admitted he has a bit of a drinking and an anger problem. He threatened to run his semi that he drives through that Alliance Diplo's house for talking to line members like that. So he not only so I logged on the next day, unaware of that happening, to find that all of our docking privileges had been revoked. So if I undocked my ship, I wouldn't be able to redock it back up in nullsec. And I messaged the guys that we were couching. I'm like, hey, what's going on? And they're like, oh, weird. It looks like you guys aren't part of that alliance anymore. I'm like, oh shit. I wonder if I still have those Discord messages. God, it was so long ago. Yeah, this was such a long time ago now. Um, the long and short is that the so the group or the alliance kicked us out as a, hey, this is only a temporary kick out, but you need to understand that your actions and you talking back to us is not appropriate, and da da da. So I went, hey, listen. I messaged my corp CEO and I was like, hey, listen, since I'm kind of the one that instigated this inadvertently, I am going to I'm gonna step back. I'm gonna leave the corp so that way you guys can make nice with the alliance. Later I come to find out that the guy was one of the last things he said was that, oh, we're not gonna live in nullsec anymore. We're gonna live in wormhole space. So you need to get rid of your Oracle. That's why you need to get rid of your Oracle and your jump freighter because those are useless in wormhole space. Which I mean, kind of true. At the time, you could actually get I think you could get a Oracle into wormhole space. I'm not 100% sure. Wormholes are a weird place that I don't want to live in. I didn't want to live in wormhole space to begin with. So, to my knowledge, that guy actually got kicked out of the Alliance because he kept picking fights with people. He went and he was in Goon Swarm for a while. He got kicked out of Goon Swarm, which you really got to try to be fucking kicked out of Goon Swarm, I swear. Um, so yeah, I then lived in I moved kind of back into high sec, but not really. It was like I moved a few things into a low sec neighboring system where I knew I would be safe for a little while and I would be able to get my stuff back if I need to. Um, those being doing. So then I basically put out a thing. There's a subreddit for people that are looking for corpse or if corpse are looking for members. So I posted, I was like, hey, this is what I've got going on. This is what I'm skilled in. This is what I own. Okay, yeah, I know capitals and wormholes are a really weird thing. So, um, so I proceeded to post that, and I got hit up within about a day or two of a guy going, "Hey, we actually live in Providence. We're a little bit deeper than where you were. We just moved down here about a month and a half ago. We're trying to get blued by CVA because CVA controlled Providence at the time. Um, and we would love to have a jump freighter pilot and a Rorqual pilot. We think that you could add a lot. Da da da. Here's what we offer." And they gave me a little bit of an incentive package, I guess is what I'll call it. Um, so you know, I took their little incentive package and I moved down into that space and I had a good time. All those guys were really cool. We ended up there was a guy that would hang out in the Discord that wasn't part of the corp, and I always thought that was kind of weird. And then I found out he was a recruiter for one of the corporations in test. And I was like deeper into space where I can mine without fear of being ganked as hard, a better intel structure, um, a better capital umbrella, stuff like that. I was like, yeah, sign me up. Like, this sounds awesome. Um, so we had to prove that we were, worth it, which we did. We showed how, I showed how we ran a mining op. I recorded a video of it, uh, documented policy, stuff like that. Because they were not actually an industrialist group. They just so happened to be good at industry. Their specialty was actually fucking with back lane logistics. So during a war, you always have your back lanes are filled with your supply, pushing the front forward. They were really good at getting in behind and just fucking with that supply train. Um, I actually learned a lot of really neat things uh, with them. So, uh, but real life kind of got in the way. Uh, Ended up basically taking more and more time off, and finally it got to a point where I was like, hey guys, like I am not around enough to justify being kept on the corp roster. I'm gonna move my stuff back to high sec. I'll shoot you guys a message if when I have more free time and I can actually like dedicate um and and then so I moved back to high sec, and then I stopped playing Eve for a while, and then I started playing again, got myself re set up in high sec, and the war was still going on, and I was like, I can't do like a long protracted war. I did it for the second winter war, and I'm just like, ugh, I don't want to do it again. Um, and then the war started to turn against Test and Pappy, and now they're living in like this small little corners, couch surfing, and I'm just like, why? But the but now I live in high sec, and I occasionally like eat myself into null sec. I've actually been approached by a few null sec groups, um, but like industry in null sec has changed so much. I basically need to go through and relearn everything. Mining in null sec has changed so much. I need to go through and relearn everything. It's just it's more effort than I want to put in. Mind you, I say this while doing learning PI and like trying to figure out how to get PI up and running. That in itself is a massive, massive pain in the ass. So, as much as people bitched about the scarcity changes, it needed to happen. I have no problem with the actual scarcity changes that they did. I think it was scarcity on top of needing these new PI products. I think that is a bigger issue. I think had they introduced this industry change for Battleship and above needing those PI products, I think if they had introduced that after they had fixed the redistribution problem, that would have been better. Because I'm going to be honest, it was stupid that I could make 120 to 160 million an hour by myself with a single Rorqual. Like, that shouldn't have been possible. And I know that they nerfed extractor drones. Yeah, yeah, I agree. I think they were heavy-handed in. I think they're heavy-handed in the speed at which they are trying to introduce a lot of these changes. I'm actually going to sell these. Do I? I don't need this anymore. The I think people complaining about scarcity, like the changes needed to happen. The fact that Goonswarm had locust fleets And those locust fleets were so good. Being able to go, all right, here's 30 rorquals in a single system, and they could strip every single belt, every single anomaly, like everything in the system in less than like 3 or 4 hours was stupid. I don't think that should have been possible for as little risk as they had to put forward. In the 3 years that the Locust fleets were running, they were only ever ganked once, and it was right after the scarcity changes hit. And the only reason why that Locust fleet even got hit was because it was by an FC who used to be a part of Goons who got kicked out, and he was doing it. He basically gave like the dirt on how to attack that fleet to another group as a vengeance, which I loved to death. Like that was one of my favorite. Like chef chef kiss revenge story. Like I think I don't even think that Locust fleet lost a ton. Yeah, let's see. I how many? Yes, 60 Rorquals died. Cost about 460 billion. It was such a stupid move. Yeah, like uh, I mean, this attack was 60 Rorquals dying, and the long term effect was nothing because they had been doing it for so long. They were sitting on mountains of minerals. To my knowledge, they still have ore reserves and stocks that they have not like flooded the market with. Like credit to the goons for like having having the discipline they needed to not destroy this game's economy when World War B2 started. Because they could have easily just gone, okay, we're gonna do a thing, and then flood all of their spare reserves into the market and just tanking the price on everything. Let's see. Speaking of Goonstorm, let's check their news column real quick. So, goons have been calling World War B2 Vietnam. Amazing. Amazing. It basically was a Vietnam type situation. What a mess. All right, cool. So I'm gonna have like, yeah, like I wonder if we've got. Oh, yeah, like let's take a look at this real quick. Not a problem, buddy. Take care. I will talk to you this weekend. So good. Like it took me like 2 years before I figured out how to have fun with the game. So like it just takes effort and trying, and you. It's a true sandbox. Like you've got to figure out what you enjoy. Um, so I'll be on later this weekend. I'll hit you up when I'm streaming. So Uh, where are total destroyed value, total mining value? Like Veil of the Silent had 1.9 hundred billion, which is 1.9 trillion mined in this last June. That's actually insane. If we go to, I think the war has actually like, yeah, like it. So yeah, it like I said, it took me like 2 years to figure out like I enjoyed mining. Um, I this character is I had one character before that's linked to my Steam account that's like 2 to 3 years younger, but like I've done nothing with that tune at all. That was back when like if you died and you didn't have an upgraded clone, you actually lost skill points. Um, but like 2014, so this tune is 7 years old, and I still am finding fun things to do in the game that I have never tried before. The abyssal stuff is great, and goddamn is it frustrating. Um, so like, where's Delve? So Delve, in the middle of the war, still mined about 350, almost 400 billion worth of stuff. Uh, see if I can find like an older from before the war. It's destroyed this time. I don't think it did. Where is my mining chart? Faucet sinks, export import, contracts, market trade route, total production output. See down. So 1.900 billion, so about this much, was mined this last June in Veil of the Silent. Delve in 2019, this is July of 2019 is where this is. 5,500 billion. It's what, 5.5 trillion ISK mined in a single month. And they got almost 3 years of this unabated. That transition is rough. Let me tell you, the moving stuff from high sec to null sec, God, what a pain in the fucking ass. I ended up um when I moved from Providence down to Esoteria, I ended up like selling 3 or 4 of my ships, of my capitals, because it was just cheaper to do that than to like get fuel, get the highway, get my alts in place. Like the only ships that I moved down there was my Rorqual and my Arc, and that's because they have like massive jump ranges. So I could literally do. I think it ends up being like 4 or 5 jumps, or it was 4 to 5 jumps with the Sino Highway at the time, which is still fucking forever. But yeah, that was a pain in the ass. And then moving out was actually easier because I literally just asset safety to everything because I knew I wasn't going to be back for like a month anyway because of work. So I just asset safety to everything, and that's what like God. The If we look at Saba, yeah, Masaba, fucking like the pirate headquarters. Like I have so much shit still here, like a bunch of freight containers that like I don't think these have anything in them. Oh wait, no, I've got a bunch of like random ore. Uh, so I was big on keeping things like organized. Um, all the BPCs we saw earlier, random outfits, exploration loot. Oh shit, like a bunch of fucking like loot. There was a guy that was doing like high sec buybacks. So stuff for him. Great Wildlands is a great area to live in. I always flew through it when I was like roaming around looking for stuff to kill, and I always had fun there. It seemed kind of like chill space. Nothing there. Jesus. Yeah, I'm not going that hard with PI just yet. Right now I'm getting my other tune on this account set up for it because right now I'm only omegaed on one tune because I mean I'll be honest, I don't feel like it. I don't feel like getting a bunch of other accounts omega to do it and then training them up. As I've grown older, I have less and less patience for some stuff and more patient for other stuff. Um, oh yeah, a bunch of like Vexor BPCs. Yeah, this one station has like multiple asset safety goods that I still need to like crack open, find out what's in them, and then end up selling probably to the dude from domain mining and research because I just don't want to deal with it. What do I have here? I have a random bestower in that system. Literally, like, you can tell that I've lived in various parts of space because, like, I just have shit everywhere. Yeah, like, this is Leechra, which is fucking forever away. This is the space that I lived in when I very first played the game, years and years and years ago. UTAC Q is somehow still up. XTAC 7 is somehow still up. Yeah, having the PI stuff for the trig ships is, I think, the way to go on it. Oh. All right, now that I'm actually done here in this space, is there a clone already on this station? Probably. Yeah. Like, and I think that's kind of why they introduced the PI changes that they did is because they wanted people to why they had PIB requirements for like battleships and stuff like that because they wanted more people to do PI. And to be honest, that's been needed to be a thing for a long time. Like I know PI has been around for a long time, but it's always been a very niche market uh, for people that actually like do it. Speaking of, we should see how this is doing. I need to upgrade my command center uh, skill so I can have 5.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
Am I really already out of oxygen there? Jesus. Maybe I will change that up. It's, it's all going through. Yeah. Not bad. It's what? 10 cycles? No, it's less than that. each one of those is going to be 3, so it's 3, 6, 9. Uh, so that's 6.5 cycles. Yeah, that's actually my biggest like hold up on like doing more PI faster is I need to I need to do some injections, but to fuck you. um but to do those injections, I uh I need money. And luckily like I make it fast. Um running missions is a very lucrative thing. So red dot of death. Alright, so this is Sancho. Yeah, Sancho. So in theory, because I just finished like getting everything back that needs to be back. Do that. Because this like freaked out on me last time that I didn't do this. Oh no, I'm missing Mystic. I have Mystic. It's fine. I promise. Should I have Mystic? Have I just like continually bought a cult and not bought any Mystic? Do I even need Mystic? Hey, Stammer Queen. Um, it's fine with that real quick. Gotta mute part of the stream here for just a quick second because I gotta check something. Luckily, my mic isn't muted, just sound. Because boy, oh boy, does that YouTube algorithm really like fucking. I was listening to oh, okay. So hopefully, I am alive. That's all we can hope for in these days. All right. So now we get to find out if this fit is really worth the 600. Okay. Yeah. No, I had to double check Hateless's video on it. Like, I have not used the burner against Sancho yet, so I went back and I rewatched the clip, and YouTube's algorithm has like I was playing like League of Legends last night, and I had the soundtrack for Undertale playing, and it fucking dinged me on its copyright catch. And I was like, what the fuck? All right, do I get? That should be good. So I like the way the algorithm works is mildly frustrating. Um, that's why if you are here hanging out and relaxing, you'll notice that I play a lot of like video game music because the YouTube system note goes, "Oh, hey, this is video game music. He's obviously playing that game," and it doesn't ding you on the copyright.
Warp drive active.
So we'll find out if this is worth. If not, I'm out 500 million, which will frustrate me to no end. So the ability to listen to music is something that I very much enjoy, but it's hard to do. I actually had to go through when I started streaming back again here this last week. I had to go through and like pull a bunch of my old Twitch VODs because, well, I had music before Twitch decided to go on its version of the adpocalypse. So, if I lose this ship, I'm gonna be irritated, but like, it's fine. It's whatever. My standings are good enough that I can grind out another. This will be basically 500 million that I'll have to get, but I have very little faith in myself on first time things with expensive ships. But I accept that if I lose it, I lose it. So mild annoyances can be dealt with.
Warp drive active.
To deal with all these bots that like followed my stream at the start of fucking everything. Like, it was actually insane because like it's bots that like have a name and then it goes, yes, you watch me, like in a name. Hate is unstoppable. Try again, big gains, not fake. New eyes. Host me, host me. Click here to host me. And I'm like, holy fuck.
Warp drive
Unless this motherfucker wants to give me like a couple $100 in donos a day, like he can eat shit. Hello. Oh hey, you wanna know what actually works? Is if you turn on your armor hardener. Turn off the heat there for a quick second. I'd like to chew through this dude a little bit faster, please. A little bit faster, please. There we go. Through his shields. And got him. Yeah. Oh, hey, I should turn the heat off that. I'm gonna burn that out here in about half a cycle. Yeah, I realized that when I was like, man, he is like chewing through me way more than he should be. It's because I super smart. I had to actually overheat the tracking because I just under the 15-kilometer map, but now I know for next time. All right. No loot. Easy 5 million though.
Warp drive active.
Technically 7, 8. How much does this mission pay? So 5 million for the burner itself, 6.75, 8.5 million there, and roughly 15 million in loyalty points. So 23 million. Not bad for less than 5 minutes of work. Actually, while I'm here,
Warp drive active.
let's go heal up some of my modules so I don't have to pay anything. Yeah, I actually have lost a Gila in the Abyss doing that, where I forgot to turn on my shield hardeners, and or I have forgotten to turn on my afterburner, and I've been like, man, why do I feel like I'm moving so slow? And then I look down and I go, oh, that's that's why I'm moving so slow. And then Karen kills me. All right, so this is gonna repair up, save on that bill. Yeah, like tether is this is probably one of my favorite things in the game, to be honest. Like being able to not have to pay anything to like fix shit feels really good. Especially so um when I was living or when I was part of test, I would go up into Providence and I would hunt around, but every now and then there would be a free port. And so I would just tether up on a free port, heal up because I was a whole tanked Hecate, and be like, all right, I'm just gonna heal up here and all right, yeah, now it's time to there's still a little bit of heat damage on that. I didn't notice it. Um yeah. But yeah, it's tether up on a free port. They get real upset about it.
Warp drive active.
Then I'd go and kill someone else and move on with my day. Yeah, I feel that pain. I think let's uh, what the hell are these ships even called? Um, Stormbringer. Oop. Um, I actually was using Stormbringers in the Adept, or in the Abyss there for a minute. Um,
Warp drive active.
yeah, at the time this was like 1.9 to 2 billion. Um, God, this sucked. Um, it sucked real bad. I never died to I never died to a ship's damage. The tank held insanely long. What I died to was speed. Actually, this was a Concord thing, but yeah, it was speed is what uh, is where that the Stormbringer like suffers really bad. Nope, don't want to. Really don't want to. I'll do the right hand. Mostly because it's in the system, so like, why not? Oh, before I sign off of this. Hmm. All right, back to what I was doing before I got distracted by that. Um, right hand. Oh, there it was. So it wasn't that actually got me with the Stormbringer. I actually could do that and be okay. It was the rooms with the goddamn Vila, the Vila Damovics and the Vila Vedmex, where you've got a million of the fucking drones out because those drones tanked all the lightning hits. So you would go for the Damovic and you would end up, instead of shooting the Damovic and then chaining to a Vedmak or another Damovic of that, you would hit all the drones. And like you just couldn't kill them fast enough. You're like, God damn it. Um, so basically, timing wise here, the next 1.4 billion. I'm saying 1.4 because it gives me a little bit of cushion in case things change. Um, um, not real keen, but the next 1.4 billion is going to be dedicated to buying my next month's Plex, basically, or Plex for the next month because I've got 18 days before my Omega runs out. Um, one the 1.3 after that next 1.4 is going to be dedicated, I think, by then to a Macarial. So that way I can go and run level fours even more efficiently because the Paladin is good. It's not great. Um, it's not great for this space specifically. Um, the Macarial is what I need. I know that. I acknowledge that. I really like the Paladin. After that, I don't really have a whole ton to spend, money other than implants. I'll probably dive back into the abyss. Probably start doing like Stormbringer abysses, because that'll be 1.4 bill at a time that I'll be losing. And for what it's worth, the Stormbringer I did recoup my loss. Like I made that money back fairly quick. Got all these people running missions in my system. Go away. Yeah, maybe a new BPO for something. It just kind of depends on what I'm feeling at that moment in time. Um, if dreadnoughts get cheaper, I don't think they will, not in the time frame that like I'm hoping. But if dreadnoughts were to get cheaper, um, I would love to start just like eating dreadnoughts around because that to me is hilarious and fun. Just take a revelation or a Moros because I can fly both. Um, I'm actually like I need an hour of skill training to fly a nag. So like just throw some haw guns on a dreadnought and go and fucking eat myself into nullsec somewhere.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
But that is that's something that I've like always wanted to do, and I've never really gotten the opportunity. And now dreadnoughts are like 4 billion a piece, which is stupid. They shouldn't be that expensive. And I don't really have a place where I can just build a dreadnought. Um, yeah, maybe I'll buy like some battleship BPOs and start building my own typhoons and stuff like that.
Warp drive active.
All those things I need to figure out. So all right, I am going to loot this can and then call it a night. It's 2:30 in the morning, and I got mandatory overtime tomorrow. For those of you that are watching, if you're not following already, go ahead and give a follow for updates on when I'm going to be streaming, either here or YouTube. I do appreciate both. And I'm going to be doing a giveaway here probably on Sunday. Um, it's it's gonna be Sunday evening my time on Pacific Standard Time. If you follow me, you get notifications of when I go live. It's gotta be for all viewers. Eve's TOS says I cannot do viewer only or follower only for stuff, so it's gotta be for anyone watching. I'll be giving away some destroyers. I'll probably be giving away an exploration ship. Um, I'll figure out some other fun little things to give away. If I get enough people on the stream, we might do like a heat ourselves into nullsec or into Tama and just have like a brawl in Tama. So you guys all have a wonderful rest of your night. Fly safe or fly dangerous, depending on
Warp drive
what you like to do. You guys all have a good night.